Here's how you can get the absolute most FPS for your money on the mid to high range. And we are talking about tweaking and lining up the parts for a Ryzen 7 9800X3D build as best as we can. So we are in a period where RAM is still in shortage, so we are going with a simple 16GB stick from G.Skill, which I paid a little bit too much for it, and a B650, because a B650 is actually plenty fine for a 9800X3D, even if you want to overclock it and tweak it. All my undervolting and overclocking tutorials, which are the main thing I do on this channel, work regardless of the socket. And since the best way to tune this CPU is to undervolt it, we don't even really care about VRMs too much, so even the cheapest B650 is gonna be fine. Now for the SSD, I actually managed to get one of the few Kingston Gen4 drives actually still on the market for a decent price, but you guys are probably gonna have some issues there. I advise you to consider buying second-hand from Amazon or to buy from AliExpress, as I do very often, to save your money there. Again, it's a relatively tough period to build in, and it's why I'm doing this video. To save the money you may have spent somewhere else, like RAM, but still keep your performance and looks the way they should be. Here's what I've done. I went with full LC power for the cooler, case, and power supply. If you're in Europe especially, this is probably one of the absolute best brands you can buy. They make very good products, very good quality, they've been around for a while, and they are extremely cheap. So cheap that the perception people usually have is that it's a very cheap brand, but it's actually a very solid brand where it's very easy to build in. Now the cooler I've used here today is the LC-CC120 Digital. It basically is a very simple, all black, single tower CPU cooler with fully copper heat pipes, and a lot of them. That's how you see if a CPU cooler is good, with a line of RGB on top and an LCD screen. Now it's not a programmable screen. I will show you the software. Right now it's very simple. It's just a metric software where you can check the various performance labels of your system, and it displays your CPU temperature and the fan of the cooler itself. Pretty simple, but does look very good and actually makes up for it being just a small air cooler. Now, how much does that cooler cost? Well, right around $30. So it's very hard to beat, value for money wise. And I put all that in the LC Power 810B case, this one over here. Now, this is a very standard, not aquarium-like, full-size ATX case with mesh on the front, 4 included RGB fans with a controller, which is controllable via the button on top and also a remote controller, and actually has a pretty cool glass side panel with a lever to pull it, and it's very spacious. It's actually so easy to build in this case that building a lot in budget Chinese cases lately, I almost forgot how good it is when you actually have a decent product. Now I filled out the case with these Ender-free Fluctus fans, and they are very good. They're all daisy chainable, the fans themselves are daisy chainable, the RGB is daisy chainable, they are very quiet, look decent, and they have good airflow. The only problem is, check out the fan design, okay? If you stick your finger in there, it's gonna be a problem, but jokes aside, these are very recommended, and these too, it's a European brand, it's produced in Poland, so if you're in Europe, they're a great buy. For the GPU, I decided to save some money, and I went with a PNY RTX 5070 RGB. They make this in RGB and non-RGB model, but those are actually very good. I reviewed quite a lot of PNY GPUs in the past, and basically it performs as well as any other brands. Nowadays, the building guidelines from NVIDIA are so strict that really it's difficult to build a bad NVIDIA GPU. NVIDIA literally won't allow you to. If you want to know more about the subject, check out my PNY, like as a brand review video from back in the day, or just my review videos from many brands. It's very interesting. It's also why some brands are forced out of selling those GPUs because the guidelines are too strict, but it's relatively good for consumers, except for the price increase, of course. Now, I also went with LC Power for the PSU. And now this is where we are not making the budget choice. This is where we're going for the absolute value choice, and we're going with the LC 850p. Now, it is an 80 plus platinum PSU with a very high certification, ATX 3.1 compatible, fully modular with a lot of extra cables, which also has the slot for dual 12-volt high-power connectors, which just that alone shows you how good of a PSU it is. It's not a small unit. You will need a relatively large case to accommodate for it in terms of space in this direction. The cables are kind of sleeved, not really, you don't really have comms, but they are technically sleeved and they look very good. And it's a heavy unit. It's a great unit. Buying a good PSU is gonna mean you're gonna save on electricity because your PC is gonna be more efficient. You're gonna get better undervolts and overclocks because the voltage is gonna be a little bit better, and you'll also have a more protected PC. So this is something that if I can, I like to spend on, surprisingly more than on my case or on my cooler. As long as the cooler is decent, I don't really care, same for the case, but very good PSU sometimes if you have some extra budget, it's a good place to allocate that budget. Now, the whole building experience was very easy. This took me probably an hour to put together. It's very good, even for a mid to high-end PC, I want to say, performance-wise. And the performance is very good. I will show you CPU Z-score just briefly, but the interesting thing is how good the temperature is. And now let me show you the Firestrike score, and you can see that the score is very good, but also temperature is good. So this small air cooler is actually keeping the untuned, untweaked Ryzen 7 at right around the mid-70s in terms of degrees. If we go ahead and undervolt it, we can get about a 15% performance uplift, while also decreasing by about 10 degrees our CPU temperature, so really don't need more than this to run it. And that allows us to play Apex Legends comfortably at around 300 FPS. So this is a very good build if you're aiming at 1080p high refresh rate or even 1440p high refresh rate. Let's face it, the CPU 9800X3D is an absolute beast. You pair it with a 5070, even without overclocking, it's going to be a very good computer. But if you tune and overclock everything, you're going to be able to play to well over 144 Hz at 1440p, no problem. As usual, I want to hear what you guys think. If you had any bad experiences with the components I've used here today, drop a comment down below. And if not, drop a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.